time of year. It's man, this is that thing. And then it turned it out with the button there. Yo, yeah, y'all know the time it is. It's the man, that's the claim. This thing that's turned it out with the button on me. はじけるようなマイルで命切らず一度捕まえたら離せないきつい謎大きな差出会ってしまった Saturday night 場所もすぐにやられた誰も彼も手しなバレンしなだんだんハマるせならこの気づかにしばい
Oh, we're into draft. That's what we call timing. Bio break complete. Draft on screen. I was double timing music. I apologize for that. I should have been more careful with that one. That's twice that's happened now. Apologies, guys. All right, let's chat draft. Wukong, Xayah for Lost Ratones early. Velia gets a hold of his Wukong, which should be really scary. Of course, we are into Xerxes, who, of course, is one of the greatest EU junglers all time. He's phenomenal. Should be absolutely respected. Ragnar, as well, has been an up-and-coming carry top lane for a long, long time. Turn off the... There we go. Get rid of that. There you go. Out of the way. What about Zero Tenacity? Unfortunately, we will try and get back to that after the game goes. But I was always going to go do the Lost Return series first. NLC caster. I promised I would. It's unfortunate timing that the overlap is there. I am sorry. I am. But that is just the way things go. It is just the fact we got some overlap on that one. I am sorry. Hi, hello. Hey, hey, Barbina, good to see you. How to check kills? You'll see at the bottom of the screen in a second or two once we get into game. You won't be able to count the between games. You have to just go back in the VOD and check. But there is no consistent kill counter. That's not how it works. Not between games. Lost Ratones pick up the Cho'Gath. They've got very good frontline now. Very good zone control. And on the other side, Galions, of course, they picked up the Rakan early, so they took the Xayah away. And of course, Crownie is a good Xayah. Galions are quite short range here. And I think that is risky into Xayah, Cho'Gath, Wukong. Your pick is phenomenal for Galions, but I am a little worried about how deep they have to dive into Lost Returns to get value here. That's the LR comfort draft. I'm kind of there with you, El Diablo. I think this is a really good draft for him. Did I leave for tea again? I went for a bathroom break, is the honest answer. I needed a poop. And I thought I had enough time. I was a little bit late. And then I went to get myself a drink. This has once again been a very long day. Although not as long as it could have been. We've ended up with a fairly fast set of series. Azir and Hui away from Nemesis. You may well now just look at a Syndra, I guess. Could Cassiopeia... Actually, this is a much better angle for Cassiopeia than it was yesterday. So if he wants to Cassiopeia, it's better. Whoever wins here advances? Absolutely. That is correct. Win this series, you advance. Lose, you play tomorrow. Is that Rakan or Xayah? LR got Xayah. Galions got Rakan. I grant you they're quite similar. But yeah. Rakan, Xayah. Malphite. Hey, Parky, good to see you. I miss you, mate. I miss hanging with you and Eri and the crew. Hope you're doing well. I miss your face. Let's actually chill out in Discord at some point soon. It's been far too long. Far too long. It's spooky season. I need to at least do some Phasmo with you, boys and girls, at some point soon. As I said, I thought this was a much better Cassiopeia angle than it was before. Ario's gone AWOL. So I've seen she's living her best life. Good for her. Good for her. I hate watching Nemesis on Cassiopeia. It's a better draft for it than it was yesterday. The Bard is also really nasty here. I think Galions are going to really struggle to close the distance safely on Lost Ratones here. You've got to get through Wukong Cyclone, Featherstorm, Cho'Gath Feral Scream and Rupture, Cassiopeia, Miasma, and Petrifying Gaze, and then Bard with a Tempered Fate and the ability to drag people out with their Magical Journey. I think it's a really rough time. I think the Smolder is actually quite a sensible save here. The rest of the draft is weird. So the Gnar is a split push win condition, should outrange the Cho'Gath and the Cassiopeia. Though Cass can make it a bit weird into Mega Gnar in particular, and you can punish his hops. But you can play the map wider with the Rise and the Gnar and win off that. I think Harpoon on the Smolder now outranges. And theoretically, Smolder can just end up 1v9ing and saying, look, you're all so damn short-ranged, and unless I get caught by a Tempered Fate, I should just be able to outspace you with a Rapid Fire Cannon and win the extended War of Attrition. I think earlier on, I was happy with Lost Ratones draft. I still think it is solid into the Rise, the Rakan, the Skarner. I think if you're playing to side lanes, there are now more options for Galions than there were. Oh, whoops. Oh, dead. Right, there we go. Get rid of that. I'm down for some Phasma. Let's do it, mate. Let's do it. It's spooky season coming up. Need to do it. Can't Gnar just go Force of Nature as well? Agreed. You can Triforce, Force of Nature, or try, if you're really feeling it, Triforce Black Cleaver, Force of Nature, Triforce Black Cleaver, Wit's End. When does DMG play? Fateski? That is a good question. When do DMG play? Also, hello, Fateski. Good to see you, my friend. For those who don't know, Fateski, phenomenal ERL player. My goat, one of them. We had Mana Flow Bando in chat earlier. We've had Don Ponk in chat earlier. There's been some NLC royalty in chat, and Fateski's among them.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
But you need to tell me. When I got to tune into your scrims earlier in the split. It was a good time. Hearing all the comms and the discussions. I mean, if Wukong exists and if late game is what it is, then Cho isn't something Smolder kills very fast. Yeah, true. So I think Smolder... Yeah, look. It's not like Lost Ratones have got a bad late game draft. It's not like they've not got ways to deal with the Smolder. I do think the Smolder helps save what could have been a very challenging draft, DPS-wise, for Galions. Because there was a world where they sort of tried to go forwards with Skarner Rakan and got mashed. And that might still happen. Oh, it's good news. My Red Bull. Oh, my days. Wow, that was rough. What was my favorite NLC series this year? Well, that's a good question. I have to think about that one a little bit. There were some really good ones. Like, there are individual games that I went, yeah, that was awesome. Zerk's gonna get some value there. Let's have a look. Bring some of the playoffs. Is Lights Over Chaos Game 5 Slapper? Oh, yeah, that was fun. With the Teemo top. That was pretty wild. Yeah, that's a really good shout. Decent chunk there from Nemesis onto Serim. Edit 1, too. We had a Teemo top player, Vayu, who did an insane amount of work. Which ones I'm thinking of. Let's just take spring playoffs again. Not too much happening here in this game. I'm a bit distracted thinking about the favorite series. There was that wild game where like I had that ridiculous goal. If Cass spits in Rise and his ult, it gets countered. Yeah, it does. Yeah, Miasma's quite annoying into Rise. And again, like Rise has to play an active range of Cassiopeia who goes, thank you for playing here. And you just have to deal with it, and it sucks. Is the honest answer. Teemo's the GOAT. Yeah, we legit saw Teemo win. -1 bounce. Didn't get the cannon. GG. Yeah. And over already. Decent damage back. Oh, harpoon. Just about alive. Has to flash away. Honestly, oh. Game of the hybrid noon. The game has been hidden by GOLGG. Hang on. Oh, you got timed out for timing a link. That's what it is. Can I save you? Can I save you? Untime you out. How do I untime you out? Sorry, Fatesky, you got done in by my bot. Can I restore you? Untime out. There you go. You're back. GOL.GG ended up being a link, and that did you in. But the hybrid Nunu game was very hilarious. That's a good shout as well. There was that one game where there was like the Atacam. I remember, was it Lightside DMG? Where it was that absolutely wild play around the Atacama, where it went back and forth and back and forth and back again, which was one of my favorite sequences in NLC. I really enjoyed that one. I remember the play. I can't remember exactly who it was. Last few days, the right website's been listing the times for matches at US Eastern time, but I live in Pacific time. That's really annoying. What it might be is often what you can do is you can set your region on the website, so you might have to reset your region. Should pick up the early dragon. Every lightsaber versus DM game is quite traumatic for me, so I'm not quite sure. That's fair. That's very fair. That's very fair. It was a pretty wild one. Crowny long here. Xerxes in solo queue, last time he played it was 4 months ago. A little while. Still, he's done a lot of winning on it. That's a 75% win rate in solo queue. Which is quite impressive. Bao's positive KDA on Cho'Gath and solo queue. I mean, I can't believe it. Bring back Old Skarner. I fear not. Old Skarner's with his bloody spires was not great. I will never forgive that Skarner for what it did to Cacao at Worlds. That was fine. A little bit down against the Gnar, but that's about it. Resets coming on through for both. Which Old Skarner? I know, there's been a few reworks at this point. No, old Skarner. Old Skarner. Old Fiora, please. With Blade Waltz. Oh, yeah. I miss Blade Waltz being an ability name. It was a cool one. Old Urgot with Hyper-Kinetic Position Reverser. I remember Urgot being played into Z mid. Bjergsen and Keen both trying it. Not Keen from LCK fame, Keen of NA fame. Bring back Corky package? Absolutely not. Was entirely unbalanceable. Can we ban this guy? Fatesky, we've got someone in chat called Corky E sound effect who falls asleep to the sound of Gatling gun, which is possibly the most psychopathic thing possible in League of Legends. If they bring back APE, I might play again. That's how I know you were playing a long time ago, Parky. That's how I know you were playing a long time ago. AP Scion or bust. Chat is full of some old timers I see today. I was about to say, Corky, Waldo's in the same place. The better one is bring back Old Rise. Again, which one of the 20 plus reworks? Correct, Arya. Faust got proxied. I don't believe it. Over towards the grubs we go. So let's get stunned. Nemesis is in danger. Split off from the team. Good petrifying gaze, but he's still split off from the team. Still has the flashes into the blue buff pick. Keeps himself alive. But now he's down about 20% HP. Crowley's still here. 2 grubs to work with. I think Xerxes will have no smite. Could be just a feather pull angle to try and smite one. Does get one. It'll be 1 grub for a little bit back. Zoelis takes a bit of damage, but not too much more. Can Baus find a rupture or a silence here? Decent rupture. That's it up. Feast angle. There we go. Nice kill onto the Rakan. Baus needs to run away. God bless. Earlier gets the clone off. Hey, Charlene. Good to see your feet raid. Oh my god. You degenerates. A lot of you. Ooh, Crowdy. Woo! Might go with the 1v1. Thank you for coming and say hello. For those who've not followed Charlene, please do. It's the artist formerly known as Sek, who is a lovely human. Was over at NLC Final as well. Did the Ari cosplay and relived the I'm French cosplay interview meme. Was phenomenal. If you're not following her, please do. She's great. I got the feet ban. No. I'm French. Precisely. Glad to have you in here, Charlie. Thanks for coming and say hello. We are into game 1 of Lost Ratones versus Galions. Lost Ratones up a couple kills. Looking pretty good okay so far. What is that, mate? Bring back when you could ignite minions. Oh no, that was a nightmare. I'm new me. I love Pokemon cards. Hey, good for you. Oh, rats. They're in a good position so far. Got one first game yesterday, though, and ended up losing 2 back-to-back, so it's not exactly a done deal yet. Bring back Sunfire Eve. Now, there's an old school one. World's almost here. It is, it is, it is. Baus gets ignited, just about survives. Bloody hell. Gets away with it. They're playing already? Yeah, it's the earlier series ran really fast and it's a rolling schedule. So both series before it were 2-0s. So Lost Ratones are on early. So Alice interrupts the reset. I think this probably means Baus now dies on this one. He's going to try and play for the wave. Gets the rupture. Decent trade back. The silence is solid, actually. Forces a flash at the very least. Not enough to stop it. Bot side, Ragnar's kind of fine so far. Baus said, get me that CS before I die. Precisely. Precisely. How was the stream, though, all Charlene viewers? What was she streaming today? Sunfire Eve. The time of why am I dying with no reason? Very true. Bring back no limit wards and support with only one sight. So hang on. Temper Fate. Flash forward for the Cosmic Binding Slow. Ragnar's in danger. About to hit Meganar, but I don't know whether he'll get there in time. Flash away. Zoelis now in danger. Has to battle dance out. Does. Open a card in League of Legends. I am learning a chip. Oh, nice. You're the better Cho'Gath. Well, you learn from Tenshi, who is the best. So there you go. Feral, Flare, or Devour enchantment. Oh, my days. Bring back Sword of the Occult. Give me stacking crit chance on an item. Oh, boy. I think Baus is dead. Want to see my binder? Oh, yeah. I have to say, I do more Magic cards than I do Pokemon cards these days. Though I did manage to get the Japanese-only McDonald's cards or Pokemon from a friend of mine who lives out there. So I have got the Japanese Pikachu with the McDonald's burger. Nice to get that one. So that's my claim to fame at the minute. I want the OG Fiddlesticks. I miss my crows. Don't blame me, Parky. That was a fun one. Though I will say I think the Fiddlesticks rework largely worked. I see why they did what he did. He was really binary with the old crow build. So it was very funny as a sport. You know the PSA 10 one? Ooh, okay. Going for the graded stuff. Bring back no limit wards and support with only one Sightstone and pings. As we were talking about, yeah. That one was wild. So I started playing Eve pre-rework. That was a lot of fun, because you used to be able to do the hybrid builds and the AD tank builds and stuff, which was quite good fun. Heart of Gold, oh my god.
Turret plating will fall soon.
I saw people tossing enormous amounts of food on the streets. What? What's going on where you are? Unless I missed the context of this. Always possible. Where are we at? 2-2 in kills. Slight gold lead to Galions. The 2 kills being on Seren is a little bit scary because, again, he could be a split push win con. Not the easiest game for Rise to win a team fight in. Bring back old initialize. It's true. I've peaked. I've gotten worse. Bounce rocket belt away. I think he's just dead here. Good silence. Xerxes tanks up the turret. Bounce needs to run. Out comes the Tempered Fate. He walks back into the Smolder ult. Bounce! I saw people tossing enormous amount of food in the streets to get the Pikachu McDonald's card. Really now? That's crazy. I just asked my friend to buy a few and I'd pay her for them if I mean, that's we just do it that way. I think Harpoon has flash, but we have to burn it. Oh, nicely done. Velia, Trinity Force Spike. Ho. After that death, you are definitely the better Jogath, Lamau. There's a McDonald's Pokemon card. Really? That's very disappointing. That's very disappointing. Like, I just said, look, a friend of mine wants to get a load. Can I pay for you and some friends to get some McDonald's? She went, yeah, that sounds great. So she did. Raid! Whee! Thank you, K9s. Nice to have you in here. Velia's doing his best. Baus needs to stop giving up free gold, though. Probably. Though, in fairness, he's drawing a lot of attention. Is it leading to much on the other side? I mean, Crowley's in a decent spot, which is always good news. Nemesis is just happily stacking away. All right, are we playing for the Heralds? You give this up its feat of strength. Do Lost Ratones care? What is that team? Did Nemesis just TP from the wave over to here? He did get the turret, which is all nice. So he did get the turret and TP'd out. So kind of worth it, but that is cheeky as hell, is what that is. Baus gonna get a turret on the other side. Very slick timings from Lost Ratones there to get away with that. Very slick timings. Bring back my Klepto Ancient Coin. Oh, most ridiculous combo. LR looks so uncoordinated. So the thing is, I think that statement is a bit of an odd one. So I know what you mean, Fetsky. They are very greedy and disrespectful of where other people are on the map. However, I do think Lost Ratones' ability to problem solve their way out of awkward scenarios is probably the best in the ERLs. They will, like, Nemesis' ability to get the turret and then know he has time to TP out to safety is something that I feel like only LR would be able to pull off on a regular basis. That said, they are also the team that gives up a lot of free kills across the map because they're not respectful of their opponents and not tracking them properly. But again, now that they've gotten TP topside, they can go for the dragon here. The turret was already taken before Nemesis TP'd. Okay, well, that's less good then. You see what I mean? In that case, that's less good. I now look silly. 100% he's not even close. Seen it first down, their jungle is super so misaligned. Interesting. But I think part of it as well is, like, despite being misaligned, I think they can still make very, very clutch plays because they are very astute at problem-solving their way out of tricky scenarios because they are very intelligent players. Sometimes they're not on the same pages, and that's proven problematic. Go on, Velia. Oh, no! I think at that point you just stick for the kill. He's dead. Oh, that's too far. He's out. Nemesis. Oh, Nimbus Strike. Harpoon with the ult. Velia dies. Seren gets that kill. Oh, dear. That one was unfortunate. You just have to stick for the kill at that point. If you're dead, at least take the person with you. In fairness, Fatesky would have more info than I would on this because, again, he plays against them regularly. Well, I played against them regularly. But again, part of the reason they've been so good in mid-games is because they're very, very intelligent about how to reset and where to move next on the map to win. Though a lot of that's Nemesis, right? But I still think their early game moves have often been a little bit disjointed, I agree. And a lot of that is born of disrespect for what enemy teams can be doing while you're making a proactive move. But those are some unfortunate kills to give up. This Rise is quite alarming. Where are we at stacks on Smolder, not the best, it has to be said. Still need 50 more. LR has not looked great all of EMEA so far. Yeah. I mean, they were looking fine at 3-1. I think the loss to Barca was a rough one. But that you could kind of write that one off. But then they lost yesterday fairly convincingly in the 2 games they lost. I think they're really punishing. When you make a mistake, they rip your head off. Yeah, like the way they won the way they often win is they will punish exit plays harder than nearly anyone else. Like if you decide, look, we can do dragon into turret, they go, yeah, but you didn't take the turret fast enough, therefore we can TP behind you, get the kill, then Atakar and then Baron, and then the game is over. Like their ability to basically know when you have overplayed your hand is very, very good. And also on top of that, they also just like cheeky bloody rats, right? Like they get away with stuff by being very clutch about getting out of difficult situations. But the amount of times they've punished exit plays is ridiculous. And that's often one of the big ways they do come back into games. I agree. It's Nemesis is the shot caller. He is by far the most talkative member on the team. He makes a lot of the mid-game calls. For the record. Because yeah. Okay, bit of a chunk forwards. Are we Atakar flipping? We might be. A lot of fun to watch, no matter if they win or lose, in my opinion. I mean, the thing with Lost Thrones, they are always very extravagant in their play, right? Win or lose. They will always be someone going for star points. Baus alone makes them for very entertaining viewing. Rise spot, easy pickup on that. You had Feast available from Baus if you needed it. I actually think they should have given that one over to Baus. Tier 2 for it. How many petals do they get? They've only got 2. They've only got 10 petals? That it? That's not great, actually. Okay, 20. That's more like it. Okay, took a while to track. 20 is a bit more like it. $2,500 gold. Next dragon's in 30 seconds. 2 items pretty much everywhere you can look, except for Rise, who's got a Void Staff. Oh, God. Seren's is going to blow up Baus. Tempered Fate buys time. Do LR manage to counter this one well? Xerxes is going to try and look for a play. Baus actually bought a lot of time. That Tempered Fate was really solid. Xerxes needs to flash, get silence. We'll be able to drive out. Baus healing pretty well. Magical Journey away. I think he resets and looks at TP back in. You can afford to give this dragon up if you want. I don't think LR are now going to be in position to contest very freely. May instead look to shove through mid and look for the tier 1 there, I think. TP back. They're playing for this. Okay. Xerxes not in the pit. Seren's chunking the dragon low, though. I think they can just rush this. Bad Dragon's about to go. What about the fight afterwards? Baus can potentially flash. Doesn't get it. Put this onto Baus. Harpoon throws out the mom! Baus, I don't know why you walked into that. That's just 3 stacks to Smolder. Who does actually now have the stacks required. They're awkward from Lost Ratones there. I'm not quite sure what the thought process was. Baus eats a bit of damage. Ragn's about to go mega. Yeah, it had to flash that for sure. Yeah, I think basically teams know how Lost Ratones work a lot better now. I think as well that teams have started to figure out a little bit on how to potentially, like, punish Crowny and draft against Baus a bit better now as well. Baus bullied, but doing well in CS. Yeah, he is. He's doing all right. Like, this game is still playable for Lost Ratones, but they have got to be very wary of the Rise and Smolder at this point. I think Rapid Fire is a big pickup. What's their crypto? So, with Don Ponk still here, I was interested to hear this conversation, because we were going to have this conversation a little later anyway. But basically, one of the big things we saw is, like, actually, Lost Ratones suck. Really suck against carry junglers that snowball. Especially because basically what they will do is if the carry jungler gets involved getting kills early against Baus, against members who are giving up kills early on the map, because Lost Ratones are notorious for giving up kills kind of for free on the map early on. Even if they don't fall behind in gold early, there are kills that go over early. That will snowball against them really, really hard, because it means that the jungler can apply that gold lead everywhere on the map, not just in one lane. And Lost Ratones are normally quite good at triaging a losing lane by finding value elsewhere. That's a lot harder to do when you've given a 3,000 gold lead to a Kiana in the jungle, who takes that lead and snowballs everywhere else on the map. And that is the reason why they have lost multiple times to Kiana in scrims, on stage, that kind of thing. Zed's in a similar position where you can sort of get snowballed against that way. And also because it makes Velia's life a lot harder. He likes to play a lot of these AD skirmish champions who actually don't have the most fun time into champions that do what they do but do it by out farming them, which can get a bit frustrating. And I find that way often does a lot of work. The other thing is Crownie is punishable. He just is. Gets caught on midway quite regularly if they're not careful. And if Nemesis has a bad game while that happens, it's really difficult. Velia just about survives. Ragnar's going to die, but this is huge. This is huge. Ragnar's going to die. Nice. Shutdown. Feast comes on through. Featherstorm just shy. Flap, flap, flap away. Harpoon, though, is in a 1 versus 5. Rise is behind them, clearing the way. Woo! Gets the kill. Burn! Not quite there. Can they turn for Baron? I think they can. Rise is proxy farming, trying to get as much value as he can here. But I think with Cassiopeia with full mana, they can shred this. It's gone. Am I covering the map a bit too much with myself? Yeah, there's not really anywhere else to put the camera, unfortunately. Can't cover the player cams. Can't go down to, well, can't go down here, or I block the info of the champions. It's basically here or bust. So this is about as good as it gets, I'm afraid. There isn't really anywhere else to go. Because I can't go lower or I start blocking the HUD icons. Which is a bit annoying, but it is kind of the only space available on the screen. And we've managed to basically green screen out a lot of the background, so I think this isn't too bad, personally. It would be nice to go lower, but we're not allowed to block player pictures. Or advertising blocks. So it's here, kind of nowhere. Finally found you. Hey, man. Good to see you. We need Ocean Soul. That'll be good. Baron's really good. Gets the gold lead back. Thank you for the follow, Dermot. Welcome on in, guys. Come say hello. Gonna try and turn for the dragon. Zoelis has got smite. Wait, what's the smite? Oh my god, that got close. Didn't get a chance to do it. Hey, Yuzuru. Like I said, Nemesis Cassiopeia isn't good. Can't push side lanes for the rest of the game. Crowd needs a lot of resources. Yeah, I think the Cassiopeia's been fine-ish this game. I think it's just the fact the Rise has been played towards on the side lane very aggressively, and that was always part of the Galions draft angle, the way they adjusted to deal with the anti-dive stuff of Lost Ratones. Not often Nemesis this far behind in the gold. Agreed. That is problematic. Because mainly they don't play towards Nemesis. They put a lot of value into Crownie. And then if Crownie doesn't carry and or Nemesis falls behind and isn't having a great game, the Lost Ratones look a lot more lost. Maybe I'm delusional, but I don't enjoy watching this. I think he's been a fine Cassiopeia. I don't think the Cassiopeia itself has been the issue. More that Seren has been a really good wink on. It's slightly different, if you know what I mean. It's not due to the Cassiopeia that the Rise is ahead. It's not a 1v1 laning thing. They fed Seren with Baus, exactly. Like Xerxes and crew just went and dove Baus repeatedly, and Seren was the one who donated the kills. And I don't think Lost Ratones, as ever, managed to get that much on the other side of the map while that was happening. Though I will say, dropping behind that far in CS is a little problematic. That's not been great. But hey, that's sometimes Rise hacks for you. Ross beats Zero Tenacity. Thank you very much for the heads up. Ooh, that's an important impale. That's a really important impale. Crowny survives, but he got caught on the bloody mid-wave again. This rat. Harpoon. Not quite hitting it. Velya might die, though. That could be a problem. Just a smite for the slow. Ragnar hops on forwards. Velya's dead. Damn. Crowny, how do you get caught there? Seren just runs this tournament, not his fault. Seren is really good, to be fair. Seren is really good. And in fairness, they did a really good job of basically feeding Seren as much gold as they can. And Seren is going to be a problem in the side lane. Like, neither the Cho'Gath or the Cassiopeia are going to manage the Rise that well in a side lane per se. Fine in the 1v1 in the lane for the Cassiopeia, but like, Cass hates long lanes. Yes, you can outplay with Petrifying Gaze. It's not the end of the world, but you aren't really escaping. You have to duel your way out. Haven't watched League Pro League lately, stupid question, but since when did Reckless transition to support position? 2 years ago. Basically felt like he'd gone as far as you could go at AD carry, so wanted to try a different role. Chose support, went and played for T1 Academy alongside Smash, who was competing with Gumayusi earlier in the year for T1 starting spot on the main team. But he's a very, very good AD carry, so did very, very well down there. And ended up joining T1 as their substitute for Worlds last year, which is quite good fun. And then he joined Lost Ratones in the off-season. And has done pretty well, honestly. He's been a pretty good support. Has largely played more pick and enchanter champions than straight up engage. He's had to learn things like the Rel and the Alistair as he's gone on, as it's not really been his natural playstyle. He's getting a bit better at that one. Maybe Crowny should try Master Yi. Oh my days. Is this just Crowny's ult? Is this just Parky's ult account? LR making LEC before Seren is just criminal. I mean, Seren is awesome, to be fair. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets an option for LEC at some point soon. Rossman 1-2-1. Understood. Like, I think Seren's in with a decent shot at promoting. He's got 4 items now. He's bloody strong. Now, the LEC gyms are lost in the sauce. I had a podcast where I was chatting with Peter Dunn, and we both came to the conclusion that we weren't that impressed with LEC GMing of late. And a lot of people kind of GM by consensus. Where basically, because of the way leaking culture in the Europe is right now, teams will hear that everyone is looking at a certain player and their price will get giga hiked and no one will look anywhere else. And so basically no one does individual scouting very well anymore. Crowny the ruler from 10. That's a bit harsh. Gets caught on mid-wave too much. That's it. Jackie does the same. So is Ruler the Jackie from Tamu? Ooh, Siren's Force flash. Needed to. The Rise, no flash. Definitely more punishable. But now we are running into this issue, right? Where I think this Smolder is going to start making LR's life a lot harder. Because that is a win condition with the Infinity Edge by itself from range. I think LR are going to be obligated to rush Baronet to try and make sure they don't have to sit here and just take Smolder poke. Engage, that's pretty good. They're on the clone, Velya trying to fast it down. Good damage onto Ragnar, got stunned up, stunned with the wall, still got the kill, but they blew up the Wukong. Good damage onto Seren, he's got the flash. Impale, stops the Cassiopeia doing damage, the Twin Fangs come flying on through. Trying to get some value back, they finally bring that down. Xerxes with the upheaval, drives another one to the wall with the stealth impact. Good root onto Zoelis, Harpoon, no damage, and Crowny and Reckless stand and deliver with Baus. They get a triple kill, and they just about win the fight, but it is a close run thing. Can potentially turn to Dragon here. Got the man advantage. Smolder could be an issue. 400 stacks is resetting. Everyone's coming back out. We go again. Soul for Lost Ratones on the table. Faust does not have anything resembling Feast available. Actually, I say that's on a lot shorter cooldown than I gave it credit for. 5 seconds. There's a secure required. Between that and Featherpool, should be a pretty difficult contest. Oh, Reckless low. Had to Mikhail's that. That got a bit dicey. Can look to Feast and Featherpool. Baus might be traded out. Is he going to be able to flash out? No, he's not. He's going nowhere near that magical journey. Baus to dead, man. Might be able to take someone with it. Tempered Fate is good. Hang on. Harpoon's Gigolo. They can look to punish that. Rocket Belt. Not quite in range. Harpoon got to flash away, but had to. Bloody hell, that got close. Hell yeah. Wait. Watch for it over the wall. Looks for the Nimbus Strike crushing blow. Doesn't quite have. The Cyclone gets the kill. Cyclone begins to spin away to safety. Can spin to win one more time. Beyblade. Zoelis going low. Gets another. There's the double. Ocean Soul Healing Warrior tricks to the other direction. Velia with the monkey business. Hang on. Realm Warp, he goes the other direction. He can keep going. Nimbus Strike to the wave. Over comes Xerxes. Surely they finally bring down the Wukong. But my God, Velia styles on him and grins on his way out. Woo! That is why you don't give Velia Wukong. My God. That was fun. That was fun. Well done, Velia. The Jungle Roll Classic. Wukong is a bit of a silly champion, it has to be said. I will say, I feel that is more Sundered Sky and Ocean Soul than anything else. But I grant you. Wukong annoys me somewhat as a champion. Will Ocean Soul do enough against the still stacking Smolder? It helps a lot. It does. One of the ways you deal with Smolder is just stacking Soul against him. But I think the Smolder at 4 items is still going to be a serious win condition. It's not like Galions can't still win this game. But moments like that matter. Harpoon doesn't have Flash. And he's a lot more killable as we come forward. Because Nemesis has Flash. Crowny has Flash. Those things matter. Seren won't have Flash for another minute or so. That means this Baron fight with both of your major carries not having Flash is a problem. Nemesis getting caught, though, isn't great. You had Flash, Nemesis. You cannot have that happen. That is not acceptable. Didn't Wukong Q used to heal you a bit? Might do as well. I don't remember, honestly. But that was Ocean Soul, Conqueror, Sundered Sky doing a lot of work, to be honest. But Nemesis just threw that horribly. Had Flash, had ult. Dies without using either. That might well be Baron and over to Galions. Ragnar on the flank, nearly at Mega, can look to just stun everyone into the wall. Lost Ratones may just have to give this one up. Gonna look to go forwards. Velia with a massive knockup. Look to get some more value, just gets blown up. Seren deletes him. Straight to Rune Prison. Do not pass go. Do not pick up 350 gold. Run warp in. Here we go. Looking for the quickness. Doesn't find the best angle. The feral scream. Silence as well. Crowny going to try and deliver best he can, but Seren goes golden. The Seraph shield is it, and Galions, in the blink of an eye of Nemesis dying, will win the game. There is no wave clip. It's Reckless who doesn't have Tempered Fate. Nemesis comes back alive, but I just don't think against 5 he can do all that much. They will try, but it will have to be a miracle and a serious bit of redemption. Out comes the ult. Nemesis is dead. Smolder secures. And lost Ratones. They Tempered Fate for a second or two, but they will lose game 1. With a awful throw around the Baron. You gotta be better than that. You gotta be better than that. That game was winnable. Ocean Soul, great fights, Flash.